Most people will never understand this. They will go through their entire lives looking down, looking away, looking anywhere but where they should be looking. And that one habit, that one tiny, seemingly insignificant habit, will cost them everything. Their respect, their authority, their power. So stop for a second and pay attention, because what I am about to tell you will change the way you walk into every room for the rest of your life. There are different ways to look at someone. If you want to ignite interest or affection in a person, you need to look at them with warmth and kindness. But if your aim is to apply pressure or assert authority, your gaze must shift completely. Most people have never even thought about this. They just look, randomly, carelessly, without intention. And that is exactly why most people are never taken seriously. People assume that height, weight, or physical build are what matter most, but they are wrong. What truly matters is your eye contact. The way your eyes meet someone else's can completely reshape the dynamic of any conversation. It plays an enormous role in your life. You can use it to intimidate someone, to leave a lasting impression, to make a person feel seen, or to make them feel absolutely invisible. The eyes say everything words cannot. ## dominance and confidence. Let me ask you something. When you walk into a room, what do you do with your eyes? Do you scan the floor? Do you check your phone? Do you look around nervously, hoping nobody notices you? Because if you do any of those things, you are already losing. You are already telling everyone in that room exactly who you are, and it is not someone they need to take seriously. Eye contact is one of the most powerful tools a human being possesses. And almost nobody uses it correctly. Eye contact serves many purposes. To assert authority, when you lock eyes with someone and hold that gaze steady, you create an invisible pressure. You are not saying a single word, but the message is crystal clear. You are in control. You are present. You are not afraid. That is what authority looks like, not a loud voice, not a big physique, not an expensive suit. It is the way you look at someone without flinching. To stimulate thought, when you maintain strong eye contact during a conversation, you force the other person to stay engaged. They cannot drift. They cannot tune you out. Your gaze anchors them to the moment, compels them to process what you are saying on a deeper level. The most influential speakers in history understood this. They did not just speak to crowds, they looked at them. To project confidence, here is something most people do not know. Eye contact does not just affect the person you are looking at. It affects you. The moment you hold someone's gaze without breaking it, something shifts inside you. Your body straightens. Your voice steadies. Your mind clears. Confidence is not something you feel first and then show, it is something you show first and then feel. And it starts with your eyes. ## why people cannot handle it. I can promise you that right now, you are looking directly into my eyes. And you are feeling something. Maybe it is curiosity. Maybe it is a slight discomfort. Maybe it is a pull, something that makes it hard to look away. That is the power of a strong gaze. It creates a gravitational force that most people are completely unprepared for. Most people feel uneasy or unsettled when someone holds steady eye contact. Not because there is anything wrong with it, but because they have never experienced it before. Their entire life, every conversation they have had has been filled with glances and breaks and nervous little looks away. So when someone actually looks at them, truly, fully, without hesitation, they do not know what to do with it. And that discomfort you create in them, that is not a bad thing. That is power. That is presence. That is what it feels like to be in a room with someone who actually knows who they are. The weak look away. The average look occasionally. The powerful look, and they hold it. ## the science behind the stare. This is not just philosophy. This is biology. Human beings are wired to read the eyes. Before language existed, before words were invented, our ancestors communicated through gaze. A direct stare from a predator meant danger. A warm gaze from a companion meant safety. Those instincts are still inside you. They are still inside every person you will ever talk to. When you make strong eye contact with someone, their brain immediately begins processing signals. Are you dominant or submissive? Are you confident or afraid? Are you someone to respect or someone to overlook? All of that is being calculated in milliseconds, before you have said a single word. And the answer their brain lands on is determined almost entirely by how you look at them. Studies have shown that people who maintain consistent eye contact are perceived as more intelligent, more trustworthy, and more authoritative than those who do not. The same words, spoken by two different people, one with strong eye contact, one without, land completely differently. The person with the steady gaze is believed. The person looking away is doubted. It is that simple. It is that unfair. And it is completely within your control. ## the difference between staring and presence. Now let me be clear about something, because this is where most people get it wrong. Strong eye contact is not the same as an aggressive, unblinking stare. That is not power, that is discomfort. That is the look of someone trying too hard, someone performing dominance rather than actually possessing it. Real eye contact has warmth behind it. It has intention. When you look at someone with presence, they feel seen, not threatened. There is a stillness to it. A calm. Like you have nowhere else to be, nothing else to think about, no one else in the world you would rather be looking at right now. The golden rule is simple: when you speak to someone, look them directly in the eyes. Not aggressively. Not with a rigid, forced stare. Just with full, undivided presence. Make them feel like, in this moment, they are the only person in the room. That is not just confidence, that is charisma. And charisma built on eye contact is the most natural kind there is. ## confidence is built, not born. Here is the truth that nobody wants to hear. Confident people were not born confident. They built it. Brick by brick, moment by moment, one uncomfortable situation at a time. And one of the first bricks they laid, even if they did not realize it, was learning how to look people in the eye. Think about the last time you avoided someone's gaze. What were you feeling in that moment? Anxiety. Self-doubt. The desperate hope that if you did not look at them, they would not really see you. And maybe they would not judge you. And maybe you could just get through the interaction without being truly noticed. That feeling, that avoidance, is not protecting you. It is shrinking you. Every time you look away, you send a message to your own brain: I am not worthy of being seen. I am not someone who deserves to take up space. I am not powerful. And your brain believes you. It files that information away and builds its understanding of who you are around it. But the opposite is also true. Every time you hold the gaze, every time you resist the urge to look down, you send a different message. I am here. I am present. I belong in this room. And slowly, steadily, your brain starts to believe that too. ## how to train your eye contact. This is not something you master overnight. But it is something you can start today. Right now. In the next conversation you have with another human being. Start small. The next time you are talking to someone, a friend, a colleague, a stranger at a counter, make a conscious decision to hold eye contact just a little longer than you normally would. Not in a weird way. Not in a staring contest. Just a little longer. 1 or 2 extra seconds. Notice what happens. Notice how the conversation shifts. Notice how they respond to you differently. Then do it again. And again. Every single day, in every single interaction. Make it a practice. Make it a discipline. Because that is what separates the people who command a room from the people who disappear in one: not talent, not luck, not looks. Discipline. The willingness to do the uncomfortable thing, over and over, until it becomes natural. Practice in the mirror if you have to. Look yourself in the eyes and hold it. Most people cannot even do that. They look at their hair, their skin, their clothes, everything except their own eyes. Because looking yourself in the eyes forces you to confront who you actually are. And that is terrifying for most people. But it is also the beginning of everything. Hashtag eye contact in high-stakes situations. Let us talk about the moments that matter most. The job interview. The negotiation. The first impression. The confrontation. These are the moments where eye contact does not just matter, it decides outcomes. In a job interview, the candidate who maintains confident, steady eye contact with the interviewer is remembered. They are perceived as capable, composed, and credible. The candidate who looks at the table, at the wall, at their own hands, they are forgotten. Or worse, they are pitted. In a negotiation, the person who holds their gaze steady while making an offer communicates something critical. I believe in what I am saying. I am not nervous. I am not desperate. I am not going anywhere. And the other party feels that. It shifts the balance of power before a single number has been discussed. In a first impression, you have less than 7 seconds. In those 7 seconds, the other person has already decided how they feel about you. Your eye contact in those first moments tells them everything they need to know, whether you are someone worth knowing, someone worth trusting, someone worth remembering. And in a confrontation, whether it is a difficult conversation, a moment of conflict, or someone trying to assert power over you, the person who looks away first loses. It is not cruel. It is not petty. It is primal. It is the ancient language of dominance that our species has spoken since the beginning of time. Hashtag the eyes never lie. You can control your words. You can control your tone. You can control your body language to a degree. But your eyes are the one thing that is almost impossible to fake. They reveal hesitation when your mouth speaks certainty. They reveal fear when your posture projects calm. They reveal disinterest when your words claim passion. This is why reading someone's eyes is so powerful. And this is why training your own eyes is so essential. Because the moment you learn to look at the world, and at the people in it, with genuine confidence and presence, you stop being readable. You stop being predictable. You become someone that others try to figure out rather than someone who is trying to figure out where to look. The most powerful people you will ever meet all share one thing. It is not their wealth. It is not their status. It is not their connections. It is the way they look at you, like they have already decided who they are, and they are simply waiting to see who you are going to be. That is the gaze you are working toward. That is the presence you are building. And it starts with something so simple, so immediate, so completely within your reach that there is absolutely no excuse not to begin right now. Look up. Look forward. Look people in the eyes, and do not look away first. Because the ones who master their gaze master far more than a conversation. They master the room. They master the relationship. They master the impression they leave on every single person they ever encounter. And eventually, if you commit to this long enough, seriously enough, intentionally enough, you will walk into rooms and people will feel it before you have said a single word. That is not intimidation. That is not arrogance. That is not a trick. That is power. Real, quiet, unshakable power. And it was in your eyes the whole time, you just had to learn how to use it.